started for the day. I thought yesterday we had a very fruitful discussion and made progress on developing professional development plans with respect to health in our hands. Today we're going over to interactions and exploring professional learning in interactions. And so I thought we would do something very similar unless other people have a different idea. I thought we would start by seeing if there's any questions or if someone has a professional learning plan started with interactions. Otherwise, I'm going to suggest that we move into breakout rooms and move into the breakout rooms and work for 45 minutes and see if someone can't put together further plans for interactions, and then we'll come back and the groups can share those. So let me first start by seeing if anybody has any questions or comments. You can either raise your hand, you can type them, or you can type them into the chat. Okay, well, if people don't have any questions, then I'm going to suggest that we move into our breakout rooms and discuss and start putting together professional development plans. If you go to our folder, you will remember, I'll share my screen very quickly with everybody. If you go to our folder, let's see, I can't seem to find it. If you go to our folder, I think everybody can see this page, and you go to the interactions material. Interactions project. Oops, no. I'm sorry, you have to go to Thailand. That's where I got mixed up. And you go to our interaction workshops. You will see these are the PowerPoints we used originally to discuss interactions. This day one is literally a lot of the PowerPoints that we used in our professional learning of interaction. So please build off of those. And then day two was further work on those as well. So you can certainly use those, use anything here to build off of what you would like to do. So I think I'd like to go into breakout rooms. If there's no questions or comments, I will then go to various breakout rooms to see how you're doing. I know you prefer to speak in your home languages, which makes lots of sense to me. But if I pop in, I just, maybe I'll just ask you to explain, speak in English for a little bit so I can know where you're going and then I'll leave and you can continue in your original home language. So, Buren, can we place people in breakout rooms?
Yeah.
And I think it's best to put them in breakout rooms. Oh yeah, this is one thing I wanted to say before you go. Let me share my screen again with you. So you remember these in the first handout that I gave you, day one, you can also look at these things called interaction videos. And so I'm going to encourage you.
Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
I'm going to encourage you to.
Garcia.
And I'm Amelia Burke Garcia, and we're from Arlington, Virginia.
We've been coming to the.
So I'm going to encourage you to look at some of these interaction videos. I mean, particular, and they're not very long, particularly, and these will be also good to use in your professional learning because they will give people an example of what it looks like to do interactions in the classroom. So you might want to start by maybe particularly viewing this first one. So it's called Developing and Using Models of Electrical Interactions. It'll give you a vision of what happens in US classrooms when we implement interactions. And of course, there's others as well. There's several interaction videos. You're not going to be able to play through them all today. I'm just suggesting that these are some videos that you might want to incorporate into your own classroom. There's also a video of teachers talking about, the second one here is a video about teachers talking about the importance of interactions. And of course, this first one here is me talking about interactions in the next generation science standards. So these are all available to you. I don't think there's any blocks in your countries on these, so I think these would be very valuable for you to take a look at. So with that, Buren, why don't we move people into breakout rooms? Unless I see a question.
Yeah, sure. It's already open the room.
Okay, so let's move into our break rooms, everybody. I'm gonna encourage you to go in via your countries or your districts. And I'll give you a couple of minutes to get started, and then I'll start popping into breakout rooms. Thank you. Hey, you're back.
And they have coffee.
Yeah, I saw it. It's just.
Oh, you don't have to.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you. How do you feel?
I didn't get back until late last night.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like 48 hours.
You just sound so many.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I said, please continue with your work. I'm here.
Yes.
You're here. I'm here. If you need me, you can ask me some questions. Otherwise, just I'd like you to continue with you making progress on planning your professional learning.
Yeah, sure. Because now I just explained some participants who just recently joined our course, so they did not join the course in the beginning, so they don't know what the content in the introduction curriculum is. So I have to discuss with them first to align with the unit in the curriculum years and curriculum in the schools where they are working.
Okay. Well, I'm here. I'm here if you have questions. I'll be here
Yeah,
for about 10 minutes, and then I'll go to another breakout room.
yeah. Because we are talking about the unit, and then we have to think of based to our curriculums and what we can do and what the unit that align together. So if we find that one, so we have to we are going to think about the PDs, talk about the PDs, objectives, the way that we know how to get the answers or size it our objectives. Then we are going to discuss about some material and the pipeline, something like that.
Yeah. Hi, Sam. For some reason, I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm not exactly sure why,
Yeah,
but please continue.
yeah.
And then if you have a question, you can ask.
So I have to talk it to in my language.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, it's actually, it's not your language. It's actually, more like, the audio is not coming across totally, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay. Just continue.
Yeah. He said bạn mới không làm sao đó.
Bạn của bạn cháu là
Còn ai còn slow là cũng slow phải phải.
ដាប់ពួកឯងចង់អត់ទៅបានទេពួកឯងយកខ្សោយសំឡេងពួកឯងនិយាយឆ្ងាយពី mic របស់ computer
Gì mất computer ấy cô. Mày
នេះយើងស្ដាប់ពូច្បាស់អត់ទេខ្ញុំស្ដាប់ចង់ខូចទៅជានេះ
ôi chăng ạ.
ណាប៉ុណ្ណេះបានលឺ
À lư nữ.
អាមិញហ្នឹងណាប៉ុណ្ណឹងបានស៊ីនរបស់គេមិញហ្នឹងដូចជា
Từ bọc nhóm á như
ខ្សោ
tao
យ
bật cần hà lên giấy. Ha. Em chẳng thì chương mới nó không là mê riêng tiếng pram nắngคือยังมี mê riêng ទី1ទី2ទី3ទី4ទី1ទី2និងទី3ទី4នេះហើយ mê riêng ទី1ហ្នឹងមាន part 1 part 2នោះក៏ដូចគ្នាដែរអញ្ចឹងខាងរូបវិទ្យាយើងមានមេរៀនណាខ្លះដែលត្រូវជាមួយនឹងកម្មវិធីផងយើងមិនដែរពិសិដ្ឋឈៀន
ប្រមើមើល
có không tầm mơ giờ còn mới đó giờ ai đăng ấy mê riêng này nặng luôn ai biển cái anh thưa phản ca biển nói ta
សកម្មទី7ប្រមើតាក់តងខ្លឹមសារ
là đại sự điện chẳng ai vừa bán này giờ từ mơ cầm thi phân viên không tới rồi giờ mơ giờ ai vô xong bẹt từng ở nó vô từ bộ price chưa không máy hay vô từ brick prom tam khám sai dương ấy nè ủa level dương level cái level đôi dương này bên tay thằng thằng level cái về Canary School cái ở đôi Canary School dương này mày hay cái set yep
ពិសិដ្ឋអាចមើលនៅមេរៀនទី4ទៅតាមសកម្មភាព unit 4មិនដែរណា
mày ở đời nào đến đấy hay gì thì tao mới dẫn tiền nhà đi làm bây giờ con sang từ fan cai dưới này cho mình share phần này của theory mày hết vậy ủa sợ này mò riêng đại của trong tí Joe, this is the yesterdays that we have discussed, but it's not really finalized yet because we had to we are going to have a meeting together to discuss further to justify the plan for our PD's plan in here. In here, we have trust or made the drafts already for the health in our hands.
Okay,
So we are going to have create a folder for Cambodians and put it in and to let you see and have some comments from you.
all right, I'll be glad to look at it. I'm glad to see that you're gonna do a little focusing on explanation and modeling as well, so that's good.
Yes, of course. But one thing that we think that in the layout information that is the building communities, because we don't know yet, but based on the ideas that we asked the trainer yet today, so we had an idea, but we didn't put it in yet because we want to connect with the expert to come to class to train or to have the ideas about the trainings to connect with the expert about diabetes or something related to health.
Right.
Yeah. So based on this, we are going to expand and connect with the others ones, with the water qualities and the interactions. So now we are discussing the link between interaction curriculum and here's with our curriculum. So they are just looking for us, and then we are going to discuss and put some idea in here.
Okay, the common connections,
Mhm.
obviously it's not the content knowledge, but it is kids experiencing phenomena
Oh
and
yeah.
making sense of phenomena, right? They're different phenomena, and health in our hands, it's biological phenomena. In interactions, it's more physical science phenomena about why things stick together.
Mhm.
So one is making sense of phenomena. Another one is constructing evidence-based explanations.
Yes.
And those ideas transfer. And the third one is the importance of learners constructing models to explain phenomena. So once again, those ideas transfer across all three of the units: the experiencing phenomena, the use of explanations, and the construction of models.
Yep.
As well as, the idea of using a driving question, and the notion of contextualization. So those are ideas: contextualization, explanation, modeling, and explaining, and phenomena all cut across all three of the units. Those are the common cores. The content obviously is very different, but the pedagogy is very similar.
Yes, I see.
When you put your folder in your when you make your folder in our Dropbox, in our Google folder, please send me an email so that I know to go look at it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I see. Yes, yes.
Uh,
Yep. Thank you.
thank you.
Yep. Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
well, I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys continue working, and I'm gonna pop into another breakout room.
Okay, thank you very
And
much. Yep, see you.
Yeah, we're planning on going back to share and see if people have questions around 10 after 8.
Yep.
Or 10 to 15 minutes after the hour. So I'm gonna pop into another breakout room, and if I get time, I'll come back.
Yep.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Này Dương.
Có duyên chụp hình tỏ những tuổi cái lực tiền là
មានពីណាគេបានកាត់គាត់និយាយពីអីគេសាមញ្ញ អត់សំខាន់លើខ្លឹមសារមេរៀនទេតែអ្វីដែលគាត់ចង់បានគឺទី1អីគេនេះណាគេ note អត់មិញខ្ញុំឡើងតែនិយាយពូស្រនមិនបាន note អត់ពូស្រន
នឹង note អីទេភ្លេចអស់ហើយបាយកូនទេនេះកូនបាន note
សួររឿងរៀនមិនឥឡូវកាន់សភៅទៅវិញបាទ
Chị Ngờ ơi,
កញ្ញាឲ្យ note នេះខ្លះ
chị Ngờ ơi.
ហើយគាត់និយាយមិញមានជីមាន
យូរហើយនេះ
explain អី phenomena Same idea, phenomena.
Phenome. Y. Y N E. O thì để click ba thằng này. Phenomena.
Cái tiền mình. Model, đây là models.
Found it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so we don't have a Thailand group today. So I want to disrupt your work.
Yeah. So
I don't want to disrupt your work, but I would like to, listen, see what's going on.
yeah. So Job, because in our room now we do not have any expert on physics, so we have difficulties on to develop the discussion on interaction PD plan. But in Indonesia case, we have discussed about the how should we run the interaction. And when we check the learning unit, some of the learning unit we cannot really implement in our schools, because some of the content of interaction is actually should be learned by high school students. So if we check the lesson learning unit that shared by your team, we will apply the only the unit 1, 2, and then we will skip the 3, 4 because it's a bit difficult for us to implement according to our physics lecturers. So that's our problem. And as I think the same with Kazakhstan, we also do not have Van de Graaff machine in our lab and also in our school. So we are thinking now to have the same experiment that will use what we have here in Indonesia. That we still do not go further the detail how should we running the PD for our teachers, but because of the target will be junior high schools science teachers, so we are also thinking to check the basic concept that teachers have to understand first to running the unit lesson.
Well, you're absolutely correct. This is a high school. In the United States, it's 9th grade.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So you can consider that junior high, or you consider in the United States, it's considered secondary. Our secondary is 9, 10, 11, and 12. And our middle school is 6, 7, and 8. So it is written more for a beginning high school audience. 8th grade middle school would probably be fine, but it is written for high school or 9th grade students. The first 2 units, take a substantial amount of time. So I think it's fine if what you focused on was the first 2 units, because that would be a substantial amount of instructional time, and has some very important science, major content ideas and practices in it. So I'm fine with that. But you should know that it was written for, 9th graders. I think it'd be okay for 8th graders. I think it'd be okay for 10th graders as well. But I don't think it'd be okay for 6th graders. I think it would be the material would be very challenging for 6th graders.
Okay, so 9th graders means in Indonesia is 10th grade. So we have different grade system. If you say in USA is 9 grades, it means in Indonesia is high school grade 10, because our high school is grade 10, 11, and 12.
Right. So this is a 9th grade unit. Right?
Oh,
So,
okay.
Right. It was designed for introductory physical science.
Okay.
So, so some of it may apply, some of the ideas probably apply very nicely to what your curriculum's about.
Yeah. the second one that I want to ask you, Job, because our PD plan is actually will be run on 2 levels. The first one, it will be a PD plan for training our lecturers, because we want this training or this kind of science teaching should be also implemented by our lecturers to prepare the teachers or the pre-service teachers candidates. So that's why we do not only prepare the PD for secondary teachers, but also for lecturers. And for lecturers, I think we are thinking that for lecturer is not too details as for secondary teachers, because the lecturers will teach the pre-service teacher on 1 or 2 courses that are relevant to teaching. For example, in 3 universities of Indonesia, we have the course, we call it micro teaching, and also we have a course on planning the lesson plan. So we focusing on those 2 courses to train our lecturers on implementing these kind of unit lesson to also share. Later they will share to their students. Then our students will do teaching practicum at schools, at secondary schools. So through that teaching practicum, we hope that they will implement the unit lesson. I mean, our students will implement the unit lesson. So that's our general plan for PD.
Right. So I think it's wonderful that you want to implement this with your lecturers. In so doing, I would try to help them see how the pedagogical ideas across the 3 units are very similar, right? So if you when I look with the 3 units, all have in focus the importance of creating a meaningful context for students. That's the first one, and we like to use phenomena that kids will be interested in, as well as the driving questions. So I see that as a really important pedagogical aspect that the lecturers might find valuable. The second one is the focus on explanation in helping your lecturers understand how do you write explanations and the value of explanations, that it's such an essential part of what it means to do science.
Mm.
The third one is the focus on constructing models and being able to revise models based on new evidence. And of course, that's also a very instrumental aspect of what science is all about. So I would try to stress those common principles, the contextualization or use of the driving question, making sense of phenomena, constructing evidence-based explanations, and also developing and revising models. And so if you could, show that commonality, I mean, that's what generalizes across the 3 units, are those focuses on those pedagogical aspects, as well as kids taking part in discourse during the class, trying to make sense of those ideas. So to me, those would be the important ideas I'd want to come across with the lecturers. Of course, the content's also important. I'm not diminishing the content, but there's no relationship between the content among the three papers. So I would really emphasize the construction of explanations, the use of phenomena, developing models. And what's wonderful about that is if your lecturers understand that, then it can be used in other units as well, right? It's not just the kids constructing explanation should be a central part of what happens in science education in schools. In the United States, we are emphasizing kids constructing evidence-based explanations from kindergarten all the way through senior high. The same thing with constructing models, making sense of phenomena, and the use of discourse. So these are very common practices across the U.S. to really support that from kindergarten through high school, to really support kids in developing deep knowledge. So I would emphasize those pedagogical aspects. Of course, they have to know the content as well, but those don't generalize across the 3 units.
Okay. Yeah, so for the lecturers training, for pedagogical aspect, we will focusing on that. But for the unit lesson, our lecturers will be divided into 3 unit lesson, because some of them from physics, some of them from biology, and some of them from chemistry. So we will offer 3 unit lesson. We will introduce 3 unit lesson to them, and then to experience the way how should we teach the content to the student. And we hope our students and also our lecturers will be get accustomed about how to develop a science unit lesson. And we will try to develop another unit lesson, I mean, after we understand the pedagogical ones and also example of unit lesson. Then we hope that at the end of the PD training, our lecturers will be able to develop another unit lesson that will be suitable for our science curriculum in Indonesia. That's our goals. So that's why we do not only will give them understanding by giving them the same training, but also we hope that they will develop another lesson unit or another topic.
Well, that would be great, in particular if they could incorporate some of those pedagogical ideas.
Mhm.
If I could suggest for the interactions unit, a really wonderful, once they introduced the idea, if they would do the tape experiment,
Mhm.
that would really allow the reason I suggest a tape experiment is because it is kind of different, right? Kids aren't, because you can get the 2 ends of the tape to
Oh,
either attract or to repel, and kids are supposed to develop initial models. So you get the kids involved in experiencing a phenomena that they have to explain.
mm,
So kids are engaged in a phenomena. They're to draw models to potentially explain what's going on,
mhm,
why sometimes the tape will attract and why other times it repels.
mhm.
And so it gets them involved in dialogue as well. So because it's phenomena based and kids construct explanations and it gets the kids involved in discourse, it really emphasizes 3 really valuable features. So I would really encourage you, if you have an opportunity, that's one of the lessons I would do with your lectures. I know when I do PD for teachers here in the U.S., that's one of the first experiences we have them do, right? So we don't treat them as students, but we have them do those activities. We actually have them experience that activity, because most teachers in the United States have never drawn constructed models. So we have them actually experience the tape activity, and actually go through it by constructing models and having dialogue with each other, because I think it shows, it really reveals students' depth of understanding and the importance of building models and dialogue. So I would encourage you, if you're going to do that with interactions, that would be the lesson you would select for interactions. It's one of the beginning ones as well.
Okay, yeah, we plan also to have the those part, because it's also possible to do the real experiment here in Indonesia. And so we decided to do that as one of the example to introduce about scientific explanation and modeling.
Right, I don't know, you will have to, the humidity, humidity tends to play havoc, it really tends to destroy static electrical phenomena. So you might have to see if that tape activity actually will work in your country. I'm not exactly sure if it will because of the humidity.
Yeah. You mean we have to think about
May, right?
Yeah.
It may, but I would try it.
Mm. You mean
Otherwise,
designing the experiment with different humidity or different what do you mean by thinking about the humidity or the climate of the
well, if it's very humid outside,
Yeah,
then static electrical phenomena tend not to work
see.
because the electrical charge gets dissipated, gets transferred to the humidity, right? So there's a lot of, when it's very humid, there's a lot of water particles and bumping into stuff, right? So if you are doing static electrical phenomena, then it tends to interfere with it. So I don't know if I know that's true for some static electrical phenomena. I don't know if it's true for the tape. So you just have to try it out.
Yeah, okay, understand. Okay, thank you very much, Joe. So I don't know, maybe some other colleagues want to ask question. Here we have Parinda from Thailand and Lady from Brunei, and other Avanti and Irfan from Indonesia.
Yeah, I knew you were a diverse room. Kesra told me, that's why I thought I'd pop in for a little bit. Okay, well, I'm gonna, if there's no other questions from this group, I want you to continue with your work.
Okay.
And I'm going to pop into another breakout room. I think we're gonna call you back around 10 after or quarter after the hour, 15 after the hour.
Okay.
So you still have got about 15 to 20 minutes to work. So I'm gonna go pop into the last breakout room that I haven't visited yet today. And then I'll see everybody in the large group session.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe.
Unless there's some other questions from someone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave and go to the other room. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Вот так, короче. Бізге кірді.
Ну, да, в принципе, просто вопрос не задаем, а делаем это как уже факт, да?
Через утверждение.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Anybody home?
It's just machine. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
We were waiting for you.
Okay, here I was in two different breakout rooms. I thought since I spent the time with you yesterday, I should spend time with the other groups today, so. But here I am.
Fair enough.
If just compare with yesterday's unit, all three units are different and they have different structures. For example, here we found some parts from each subject. For example, we found some parts from our physics lessons, from chemistry, and from biology. And we think our aim will be educators will be proficient in designing and delivering lessons that combine phenomena such as energy, force, matter. This phenomena from three different subjects. Example, from physics, from chemistry, and from biology.
Yeah, that's right. This that's a good observation. This was a interdisciplinary. We try to structure this as an interdisciplinary unit with the focus on kids understanding how the concepts of energy and force can really help explain phenomena across different disciplines, right? So from so why is it that when two things that have similar charges, why do they repel, right? So that has a lot to do with forces, interaction between forces, as well as energy. We then try to use those ideas in other applications, like in biology, about the importance of how charges or the forces due to charges hold proteins together, and how increased molecular motion can actually destroy those bonds, right? This is why, as parents, we really worry when our children's temperatures get up so high. So it is an interdisciplinary unit.
So here also we add some point like our aim is fostering critical thinking, problem solving, and scientific explanation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you put that in there. We do try to foster critical thinking and scientific reasoning, right? That we find that very, very critical. And of course, scientific reasoning is one in which you apply evidence to support claims. So whether that's the claim, evidence, and reasoning aspect. So I'm glad you put that in there, because that's a critical aspect of interactions, but also of the other three units as well, the other two units.
Mm-hmm. And then we try to compare the investigations from units with our aims from our national standard. So we found some similarities. For example, why do some things stick together? We have three aims from our standard. It's for 8th grade. But here we have some question, maybe suggestion from you. For example, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 aims from 8th grade. But our 10th grade students have the same maybe aims. But if we choose 8th grade students, for example, for implementation in the future, it has some problem with biology and chemistry, because in 8th grade there is no proteins, or only 1 hour, only one aim.
So yeah, kind of show the like proficient or the matter, and then cross-cutting concept between those three disciplines. On 8th grade, at the 8th grade, they had only one lesson, which is like less, and I find more kind of more how I'm gonna say, the goals, which is aligned with the units at 10th grade. So you can go down a little bit. Darren, please прокрути. So at 10th grade, we can cover 2 or 3, еще ниже, 2 or 3 goals.
Right. So that's an interesting observation. This unit was actually designed to be very interdisciplinary here in the United States. It was originally designed. And it could go up or it could go down a little bit, right? We targeted it for 9th grade in the United States, 9th or 10th grade, but it certainly could be used at the 8th grade level, and it certainly could be used even higher in some of the classes in the United States. So there is there are various classrooms or different grade levels where this could be used. But, you know, I think Kesra might be in this room, so she could chime in too. But for instance, if you enacted the first unit in your 8th grade, and it supported kids in writing explanations and making sense of phenomena and constructing models, I would be extremely thrilled with that. So, right, so if you focused just on doing the first unit in your 8th grade, because it seems like you have a lot of good overlap, I think that would be really, you know, be great. There's no reason why you can't do some of the units in one grade level and some of the units in another grade level, if that's what you choose to do. But in fact, if you focused on unit, and again, I'd like to hear what Kesra thinks, because I'm not in charge of this project. I'm just trying to help you learn. I think if you did the first unit, which is basically 8 weeks long, I mean, it takes a little bit of time to work through it. I think it would be a wonderful example of how kids can construct, you know, can use, can explain phenomena, construct explanations, as well as explanations. And I really do like the Scott's tape experiment as a, it's a good introduction to what the unit's all about, because it does focus on phenomena. There's it's related to the driving questions, and the kids are constructing models. And as they then get more information, they can actually even explain that Scott's tape experiment even better. So as they go through the unit, you could actually revisit the Scott's tape experiment at the end, and they will know more about how to really explain what's going on. So I really like that particular activity.
Yeah. I agree, Joe. I think that if the team, the Kazakh team, think that this unit really fit, right? And if you can implement in a way that lead to the expected outcome about explanation, right, using the CR or modeling, yeah, I think yes. And it's for it's about 8 weeks. Do you think the duration?
It's about 6 to 8 weeks to do.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I think 6 to 8 weeks is long enough for for teachers to try it out, the practices that they can stick those practices in the future, and also maybe we can see some result, like quite tangible result from student as well, right? So yes, I support this your direction. So yeah, that sounds great, Darwin and team. Yeah.
So you mean you got about the goals from different grades? Am I right?
Yes.
Because as you know, the unit, it's huge, and we at least try to find the best fit with our national standard, and it all the
yes, I agree. Yeah, I think you find the best fit, and then you get the implementation will lead to the expected outcome, right? That you expect, right? I think that sounds great to me, right? Because like you said, the unit is big, and introduce the teachers to help them feel confident that it's fit, right? And then introduce these new practices and support them, because they feel that it's a fit, right, to the existing curricula. I think that's that's important. Yes, I support that. And I think it's great that you can find the best fit, even different grades level.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to put words in the Kesra's mouth, but you know, one of the major goals of the project isn't necessarily this exact content, right? Or the exact content in health in our hands, or the exact content in water. It's rather getting the teachers and your in-service instructors to implement new forms of instruction, right? So get them
Yeah.
involved in constructing models, explanations, kids collaborating together, setting context so kids find work meaningful. Those are the big goals of the project,
That's
right?
right.
The 3 units are just exemplars
Yeah.
of that, right? What's really
Yeah.
important is that we see teachers and kids in classrooms constructing explanations, arguing if they have enough evidence to support their claims, and what's the reasoning behind that, right? Those are the and what content they do it in. That, you know, there's a lot of, you can do it in any science content area. These were just 3 examples of how you might do it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you can put those words in my mouth. Yeah, I
That's
support
what
that. Yeah.
that's what I deduced was the focus of the project, right? It's not to implement the interactions curriculum, the interactions curriculum, or the health at our hands curriculum, or the water units, but just exemplars
That's right.
of what we'd like to see happening, right? And we know that we know that for teachers actually to enact these new practices, they actually need examples, right?
Yeah.
They can't just create it on their own.
Yeah.
And that's why we show these 3 things.
Mm.
So are these 3 examples so that
Yeah.
you have actual materials to actually go about doing this.
Yeah.
And you know, we had this one program, and it was a very nice professional learning program, but it just focused on doing models, right, and explanations.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And the
think,
teacher said, well, this is great,
yeah.
but how do I do it in the classroom, right? Because they didn't really have any examples of how to do it in the classroom. So we were just trying to, these are just examples. But I see you trying to show some simulations, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the most important thing that we expect, right, is student outcomes, right? That they are able to make scientific explanation using this CER or modeling, right, and understand the phenomena, right? I think that the bottom line, right, the units, they are samples of good learning units that guide teachers, right? Because they are well structured. And if you are going to complement those units with any tools, materials, that's great, right? And yeah, that's why I think the learning performance of students that you expect is a key.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys, I'll give you a couple of minutes to wrap up. And then I think we're gonna call everybody back together again, probably in 3 or 4 minutes to have general discussion. And then if there's no general discussion, then we'll put people back in their back breakout rooms to continue your work, because that's the most important aspect. I am gonna leave just on this comment, you know, my favorite unit in interaction is actually the 3rd one. And that's because I really like the driving question, right? So where does all the energy come from in a hurricane? I think you guys would change it to a cyclone or something, or a tornado. And because most people don't understand it, right? Most people don't realize that all the energy comes from the condensing of the water, right? They don't realize the amount of energy that has to go into breaking liquid water molecules apart. And of course, then when they come back together again, you release just a heck of a lot of energy. And people just don't seem to it's such an important idea. And it's somewhat really simple that you can actually, you demonstrate pretty easily by showing how much energy it takes to boil water. I mean, boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius, that's a heck of a lot of energy. And of course, when it condenses back down again, it has to release that energy. And a lot of people just don't understand that. And it's due because of the attraction between the water molecules, right? The positive side of the hydrogen and the negative side of the oxygen really hold those water molecules tightly together. And then you really have to put a lot of energy in to actually breaking those connections between the water molecules. So it's one of my it's actually one of my favorite units because I think it has such an important lesson that most people don't understand. You know, we all know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but we don't really know the significance of that, and that it's really you really have to put a lot of energy in to break the connections between water molecules. Anyways, I'll leave you with that note, and we'll probably call you back in about 5 minutes.
It's not easy to connect. When I remember how I see it first time, for example, it's stick together some particles, and the next one is what's the power of hurricane? So I thought how hurricane can come here.
Late, right? You mean the relate?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a hurricane,
Yeah.
so but do you guys have tornadoes because you're inland?
No,
Actually not, because our mountains
we're
from
in
east
part
to
of the
west.
Eurasia,
Yeah.
so I guess we're
From
safe.
It might not be a good phenomenon for you, right? So you might have to change that question somehow, but it's such an important, you could change it to, how come I get burnt when steam goes on my arm, right?
Oh,
I mean, that's the other,
can we relate that
right? So
earthquake somehow? Earthquake? No?
I know earthquake is totally a different phenomenon.
Okay, all right. 'Cause
I
at
mean,
least
it is-
we recently had the earthquake.
Oscillations.
It is related to energy, right? I mean, that's another wonderful way of thinking about it. But here you got these gigantic plates and they're hardly moving, right? But they're just moving just a little bit. And then they hit each other and they release all this energy, right? That's because energy is related to both the mass and the speed. So even though the plates are moving really slow, they're so massive that just when they touch each other, they can just really cause tons and tons of damage. So it's a totally different phenomena. Also very fascinating to explain. Okay, I'm gonna pop out of here. I'll let you guys wrap up and then we'll call everybody back together again.
When Joe said about like the boiling water, etc., I just
You are on mute.
I think the Kazakhstan group is pretty engaged as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I was thinking, Joe and Burin, that you know, in each country they have strength in some, like that, like Darin, I think, and maybe Eigenin might be their background might be in physics. Not sure. Darin for
biology.
sure. Yeah.
The acronym is
Darin,
biology.
yeah,
Darin
Darin
is
is in physics, right?
Yes.
So, and because Darin is the top teacher, did I tell you that he is the second winner and he won the car as the award from the from the minister.
Well, that's great.
So I was thinking that maybe some country can share and take the lead in like sharing first that how they are going to do the PD, and other country can learn from, because because they are strong, right? And I know that Pachayapong is the strong in health in our hand in biology, right? And maybe maybe they can share in details about how they are doing with the whole group. If after we look at their lesson plan, right? The PD plan.
Yeah, I'm fine. Which group is this?
Prachayapong was yesterday from
Okay.
Health in Our
Yeah,
Hand
we did that, right.
questions. Yeah. And so
I'm
that
fine.
they can convince that actually that can be implemented, that can be done, because I think Dr. Murni mentioned that, because maybe they lack the expertise in that area and maybe they are not confident, and maybe other groups can help and share and
Sure. Why don't you let's call them back. And then why don't you bring out those Why don't you bring up those ideas and when we bring them back?
Yeah, so that we can learn from the group that have a good plan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring the groups back, Buren, and
Yeah, already did.
you should tell the group. Okay, good.
And even this lead to even the PD, and then if they can demonstrate how they do it, we use the expertise, the talent from the group who doing well in one area to share with others.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Well, welcome back, everybody. I was able to pop in all three of the breakout rooms and have conversations with each of the groups. It was very nice to chat with you all. I think we're going to start, Kestra is going to start this session off by mentioning a couple of points, and then we're going to hear if you have any comments or questions, or see if anybody wants to share their information. So Kestra, you want to?
Yeah. I had an idea to throw and brainstorm, right? What you think, because the beauty of this project is that we are cross country groups, right? And some country might have expertise in some area, right? That we think we can learn a lot from, right? So I think that if in some area where some country do very well in their PD plan, I think they can share the detailed plan with others, right? Maybe even take the lead in designing the PD activities, in terms of sharing how they are doing it, and the plan also can be shared with other countries, and even maybe in the future, if you think that it's worthwhile, that particular country doing well, maybe they can even help support the other country, and I will try to see that how that can be organized, right? And I think that's the advantage of why we work together as a cross-country team. So yeah, I want to learn, what do you think? Because now usually when we do a breakout group, we do by country, right? But in the future, if we think that some country, they are doing very, very well in some area, that they can maybe share with the other country in interactions, or some country doing well in health in our hand, maybe they can share with the other country. What do you think?
I see one thumbs up.
Yeah.
Other
Yes,
thumbs
thank you.
ups, other comments, you can put them in the chat, or I see a
Yeah.
couple more thumbs ups.
Yes. And because I think that's also a way to build a network, the relationships among each other, right? And in the future, you can be visiting scholars across country, right? I can.
Yeah, I would love to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's through working together like this that you can build relationships. Mm.
Right, and it it is I know at times it feels very challenging. But if we can bring our different countries
Mm.
to really support kids in actually doing more science in the classroom, like having kids construct explanations, having kids debate the appropriateness of evidence, having kids build models and revising models, we have really made a significant dent in really improving kids' learning across a variety of different nations, helping to make our world a better place. And so it's why we know it's at times is a struggle for us. It's such an important effort, particularly this cross, the working across countries because there are different languages brings this challenge, but it also brings us great opportunity for us to share among each other. So I totally, those thumbs up, my thumbs are up there too. So it's really an important goal.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, this I know that this idea, yeah, this will received by Joe and by some. Yeah, thank you.
So yesterday we had Kazakhstan group presented, and so I would like to know if there's another group that would like to share today. Any one of their, it could be PD plans related to interactions. It could be PD plans related to another unit if you'd like, but I'd like to have another group share today. And so that we can all provide some feedback. I'd love for different individuals and in the various groups to provide feedback to the presenting group. So if there is a group to present, that would be wonderful. Or if there's any questions.
I want to share about the PD plan of my university or from Indonesia.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah. So here's the plan that we want to do. That we have two level of trainings of PD plan. The first one, we will do the training to our lecturers because our purpose is to also disseminate this kind of method or way of teaching science to our university level or our university faculties members. So that's why we will do the training first to our lecturers, and the lecturer, we hope that they will do the same to their students. Our students is actually for training the teacher candidates. We are from the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, and we have students who will be go to pre-service, and also we train the in-service teachers. So our plan first, we train our lecturers, and the second one, we will go to train our secondary teachers to be implemented at school level. So for the training the faculty members, staff, we focusing on two courses or three courses. One is micro teaching. The second one is lecturers who will teach at the lesson plan course, and the last one we also have course on STEM. So teachers or lecturers from these three departments or from these three courses, which is they will come from 9 departments, will join us, will be invited to join the trainings. And our general topic, because we hope our learning goals for the training of the lecturers is to be able to create or to be able to disseminate and also disseminate the training content and also develop their own unit lesson. So that's why this is the general topic that our training will be. The first one, we will introduce the introduction to STEM approach, because our understanding about STEM approach and also many kind of teaching models such as problem-based learning and project-based learning should be improved. So this is the main, the first topic that we will give to the lecturers training. The second one is going to the scientific, this one is should be scientific modeling first, scientific modeling, and then Sage Modeler, then scientific explanation. Then the last part, we hope that our lecturers will be able to develop their own unit lesson. Then for the 3-unit lesson, water quality, health in our hands, and interaction will be divided into 3 trainings, 3 sub-trainings. It means that the lecturers will choose which one they want to go further. For example, the lecturers from Department of Biology will go to the, probably they will choose the health in our hands. And for the physics, they will be trained well in interaction. And for chemistry and biology, probably they will go to water quality trainings. So that's the plan for the lecturer training. And after that, the lecturer will give training to the students, and our students will be planned to implement the unit lesson to students, to school students during the teaching practicum or school internship. We have 3 months 3 months to 6 months teaching practicum at schools. Then during that time, we hope that our students, university student or college students, will implement the 3-unit lessons to the junior high school or high schools. That's our plan, the first plan. And the second plan, I think, will be the same with other countries, that we will focus on leading teachers, because we live in Surakarta Regency. We also have collaboration with Teacher Association, Science Teacher Association. So our target will be the member of Science Teacher Association. And then after the training, we will select the role model teachers that will implement the unit lesson to lower secondary science, school science class. And through this part, we will open the class. It means that other teachers from other school will join to observe how the unit lesson be implemented. That's the general PD plan that we will run during the PD plan. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments for her?
May I have a question? Thank you, Morning, for your presentation. So,
yeah.
And so could you say again, so who will deliver the unit first to the staff of university?
Okay. So in our university, we have the STEM center that joining the training run by Professor Joe and team. So that's the member. We have about who actively joined the training, probably five lecturers, but the member of STEM center is about 12. So we actually have disseminate our training after we have finished the training from Professor Joe. We actually disseminate the training to our STEM center members so that those people will be training a trainer of the faculty members training.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Any other comments or questions? So I'd like to thank you as well for your presentation and how you plan on implementing this. I had mentioned this in one of the groups. I don't remember what group I mentioned this in, but the goal is really to try to support teachers in learning these new practices, with the 3 units only being an example of how to implement these pedagogical ideas. So I like how you're going to focus on helping both in-service, the pre-service, your lecturers, as well as then going to more professional learning, your in-service teachers, helping them understand how to do explanations and how to do modeling, because both the construction of evidence-based explanations, learners basically being able to say, yes, I have sufficient evidence to support my claims, is such an important part of science. So I really, really like that emphasis, and that's what you're trying to do. And the same thing is true with modeling, helping them understand how to construct models and how we need evidence for models, and how models can explain phenomena as well, predict phenomena, I think is really critical. And if you can do this with your lecturers, and then the teachers in their classroom, their future teachers in their classroom, can create lessons that incorporate explanations and modeling, I think that would really push science instruction in your country forward. So that's my big comment I have for what I see you doing. So I'm very pleased with that. Any other comments for this group? Okay, so thank you once again. Is there another group that would like to share their?
Pleasure.
Is there another group that would like to share? Other groups that would like to share?
If Cambodian doesn't want, we can share.
Joe from Cambodia, but we are not come here to share because we are just the starting of the discussion. So, and we don't have the result yet, and most of the experts from the physics, they are not here for today, so we don't have some ideas from those. So the result is we cannot have some result to share for you today. Sorry for that.
Okay, well, thanks, Sam, for that update. And I think Daryl was trying to was also mentioning something. Daryl, can you repeat what you were saying?
I said if Cambodian let me, I can share our vision.
Sure. Let's hear what Kazakhstan got through today.
The same as yesterday with health in our hands. We thought how to develop our plan. So here we have the main aim of interaction unit. What we think it's educators will be proficient in designing and delivering lessons that combine several phenomena from physics, chemistry, and biology, and additionally help to engage students in exploring real-world phenomena, fostering critical thinking, problem solving, and scientific reasoning skills, including CR. So here we try to find some similarities with our national, with aims from our national standards. So, for example, if we see in investigation 1, unit 1, it's why do some things stick together and other things don't. We have several aims, like characterize the electric charge, explain the process of electrification with friction and induction, give examples of positive and negative charges. So we think these three aims from our national standards is related to this unit and investigation, and we can explain these three aims with this investigation. And similar to next investigation, also some aims from our standard we found. And we add some activity. We will try to choose activities from unit. And we found we prepared some questions for discussion with our learners. And we think we can do experiment with the Scotch type for the beginning. Actually, our vision is next. So this is our main aim. And it can be divided on 3 parts. For example, like physics part, chemistry part, and biology part. But finally, we should lead our listeners to the fact that all phenomena are interconnected, and we are studying nature, not just studying physics, chemistry, and biology. So this is like a main idea of this unit, I think. So as you see, we can jump from physics to chemistry here, or if I open interaction, it's jumping from physics to chemistry starts somewhere here. For example, here is more physics, but we can jump to chemistry, and finally we can jump to biology when we talk about temperature. So next part is chemistry part. Again, we found some aims from our national standard. We add some resources, questions, and some demonstrations. And then again, doing the same things with biology. But for biology, it's less aim from our national standard, which related to the unit. But we found one.
Actually, 2.
2? Yeah, here's the second one about proteins.
Where's the second one?
Yeah, that. Second one is to investigate the influence of different conditions of the structure on proteins.
So, and
first one, classify proteins. Yeah, you can
so
continue.
in biology part, there were like a couple of simulations about how different condition can influence the protein. And also in our national standard, we have some laboratory work in terms of that. So, and I thought that's the best fit, but we will see between conducting the laboratory work and doing the simulations in simulation in English. And if it's gonna be like hard to explain, or some our listeners will struggle, we might then offer to do the laboratory work, which is in our actual textbook of our national, which is kind of claimed with our national standard. And our main goal while we were creating this whole framework was, since this unit interaction is interdisciplinary, we try to keep the one flow, may I say flow, right? From the starting from physics, then chemistry, and then moving into the biology, and the same time giving the sense to the teachers and let's say the listeners of our course that the everything happens in the world by the phenomena, and it can go across the different natural processes from the physics and chemistry and biology. And as we know, the unit's very huge, and we don't have the STEM subjects at school. They're totally different subjects independently, and we try to kind of find the best fit between our national standard and then the goals of unit. And that's why we choose the not every unit and not every investigation and not every activity in this. So we're gonna just take the best, not best part, I mean, take the some part of the each unit and each investigation, which is fit well to our curriculum of national standard, and then also align it between 3 subjects. So that's the whole vision of this interaction unit from our team.
Thank you both very much. I wonder if there's any comments or any. I see Kesra came on. Kesra, do you have a comment?
No, I want to ask both Darin and Aigenim, who represent the group from Kazakhstan, if you can maybe share with us that this plan, how different compared to what you usually do in the past, in terms of the PD activities. What are the major changes that you have made?
You mean changing, comparing with our previous?
Yeah, the normal that you usually do without before you knew Joe, and this unit, right? What did you usually do?
Just clarifying, you mean comparing with our national standard, what we usually do at school, or what we already did, I mean, in September, October, before webinars?
Yeah, professional development.
Before webinars.
Yeah, before the webinar. What did you usually do?
Yeah, if you want, I can show it now. Is it my screen? Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, it's my screen.
Yeah, how different? Yeah, that compared to the past. Yeah.
Okay. So when we came back from Thailand on August and September, we started our work, and our previous version was more about methods, not about units. So I will find it. Yeah, here. But it's not in English. I will translate.
Oh, okay. How about even before usually how do you usually do it? Like before you knew Joe.
You mean at school?
Yeah, when you do
how
the training.
How teachers?
Yeah, how teacher learn.
Okay, I can show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of training do they receive? Right?
About
STEM
or just in general?
Just in general.
Related to STEM, or maybe related to STEM or science.
I have a plan about physics.
Как преподаватели раньше обучались относительно STEM до этой программы?
STEM is new for Kazakhstan, so I think we don't have like a standard of STEM in Kazakhstan.
Mm,
This is what we're trying to do,
mm,
like creating a maybe new standard,
mm, mm,
of course, related with international standards.
mm.
But I think we don't have standard of STEM in Kazakhstan.
Mm.
Yeah, we usually study, our teachers teach different subjects, like physicists teach physics, chemists teach chemistry. That's it. For example, for 8th grade, it's like starting with heat phenomena, it's 11 hours. Then states of matter, just 4 hours. Thermodynamics, 8 hours. Electrostatics, yeah, this is same with our unit. But then in Kazakhstan, we go deep to electricity, for example, like electric circuit, current, voltage, like resistance, and parallel and series connection of conductors, like power and work of current, something like this. And then magnetic phenomena. And then we finish, our 8th grade students finish with optics, like lens, mirrors, light,
Mm.
like refraction of light.
Mm.
Yeah, this.
Okay. May I add, Darin? It's Sultanat. Please, Darin, correct me if I'm getting wrong. So as I understand, so your question, so as Darin told, STEAM is a quite new direction in education for Kazakhstan. So usually, I think Kazakhstan just invite from other countries for PD in STEM. So now it's time we are now time for growth inside in Kazakhstan in STEM leaders and making our PDs for ourselves. And usually we just invite from other countries speakers in STEM related.
Mm.
So.
Mm.
Yeah, mostly from Eastern countries, from Europe maybe.
Mm. Yeah. So you are saying that Darin, that you show this one, like usually it's more like the topics,
yeah,
right, and the content related to the topics that teachers need to
know,
teach according to the standards.
According
Right?
to standards.
Yeah.
Teachers can change methods, but teachers cannot change the aim.
Yeah. And how about like the CER or explanation? Was it focused before?
Maybe we don't call it CR, but usually we have not only theory, we have practices. So usually in practices, but it depends on teacher. For example, good teachers know that in the beginning of some laboratory work, you can make some hypothesis. Then you are looking for some evidences, and then you give a conclusion. Yeah.
And how about modeling?
Yeah, we use modeling, but not Sage modeler, like FET. Yeah, mostly FET. Teachers use FET, or for example, some teachers know like it's lab exchange. But I was surprised yesterday. I have never thought about it's a Concord consortium. It's I don't know how it's related to.
Yeah, that's how you say Concord Consortium.
Yeah, it's our
within the lab exchange, right? The website. Внутри же было.
Yeah, this is a lab exchange website. The same like here, for example. It's also from Concord Consortium.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an open source that Joe introduced.
Concord has a lot of, like FET,
Mm.
Concord has a lot of open source simulations.
Mm. Darin and Iconic, how do you expect teacher that will respond to your plan? Do you think will they like excited?
It depends on
To
teachers.
learn these new practices, or will they feel challenging? What do you think?
I personally, I think the all changes comes with some struggle or inconvenience, right, to the teachers. But it depends our audience, I guess, like what kind of audience we will have, and that's why one of the reasons why we try to find the good fit with our national standard that will help us to give them more sense why they should do this way and how it might align with national standard, and it wouldn't give them some extra hours or extra work beyond the work that they do at their work. So yeah, and probably that's the new thing to. It's more about the changing the way to think and to look at some like a well-known theories. So it's kind of more upside down, but I personally hope it's gonna really work, and a lot of teachers will kind of more excited and implement actively. So that's my
It's not easy to change the way of thinking, as Ivan said, and of course we are planning some interviewing before choosing them as participants. And in interview, for example, I am interested, do they know something about STEM? Are they really interested on STEM, or they just come for certificate?
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to the time, and I have to leave in a couple of minutes because I have another meeting at 9 to start my workday here. I did want to mention that I thought that when Darren and Agama were speaking, you do have a really good sense of what interaction is all about. Interactions is an interdisciplinary unit. What it's trying to show is that there's phenomena in physics, chemistry, and biology and earth science that actually get explained by some fundamental ideas, right? So you, in order to understand why proteins separate, you really have to understand energy and interactions. In order to understand why you can, just a small spark can cause a big explosion, you really have to understand energy and interactions. So it's really trying to take these two very powerful ideas and show how it really explains phenomena across the various disciplines. And often children, learners don't understand how ideas like energy and interactions, forces can be generalized across, right? Everybody always thinks that energy is a physics concept. Well, that's far from being the truth. Energy is extremely valuable across every discipline that's out there. So I really like that point that you emphasized in your presentation, mentioning how interaction is interdisciplinary, yet there's some fundamental concepts that go across all the disciplines in order to explain phenomena that are typically associated with various disciplines. So I thought that was a really powerful point. I'm going to have to take off. We are meeting again tomorrow tomorrow in your evening and my morning. Anne will be back with us, and we'll be talking tomorrow about the water quality unit. Hopefully there'll be some examples that you can share. Otherwise, we'll start off once again, seeing if there's any comments or questions, and then we'll break off into work groups so that you can work and continue your professional learning plans. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and unless there's a quick question or comment from someone. Okay, great. Well, it's wonderful seeing all of you and talking with you. I look forward to interacting with you tomorrow. Once again, bright and early and bright and early for me and late in the evening for you. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening and a good day tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good
Yep,
night.
thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.